What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm checking out Robot Turtles from Think Fun. This is for 2 to 5 players, ages 3 and up. It'll take about 5 to 15 minutes to play. And in Robot Turtles, players will be steering around turtles, shooting lasers, melting ice, trying to get the jewels. Sound intriguing? Let's open it up and see how it plays. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Robot Turtles. First and foremost, we got our handy dandy rule booklet, which it doesn't have staples. And when I opened this up, I was excited to get it, and this really soured me at first. The other thing that kind of bugged me was that half of this rule booklet is literally just thanking backers. But they got so many backers, I guess that's kind of necessary since they said they were going to do it. Aside from the staple issue, the rule booklet is pretty well done. It's pretty easy to understand. It's a very simple game. One thing I like about the rule booklet is they really have it so you start off and it's really easy mode, and then they can make it progressively more difficult and more difficult and more difficult. And I really like how they did that with the rule booklet and with the game. The last thing I want to mention is robotturtles.com. I went on that website. There is tons of stuff about this game, maps and stuff that you can make. So if your kids really get into it, definitely check out the website. Now, moving on to the game itself, let's go over the components. We're going to have 5 kinds of tiles in this game. So the first kind of tile you're going to have are your turtles. There's going to be 4 turtles that come in the game. It says it's 2 to 5 players, but in actuality, one person is going to kind of be the, I don't know, like the dungeon master. He's just going to move everything, whereas the kids can't touch anything. He's not actually going to play the game, and trust me, that'll be an adult, and they really won't be too heartbroken that they can't play the game. But, anywho, so 4 turtles, and on this turtle, you're going to notice there's lasers on here, and there's going to be 3 flowers. These 3 flowers are there to help kids figure out how to move their turtles. But we'll get more into that in a minute. So each player is going to get a turtle. They're going to go in the corners of the board. Next, you are going to have the gems, which you are going to put in the middle of the board. The object of the game is to get a gem. Can everyone get a gem? Yes, everyone can get a gem. So there's never going to be a loser in this game, essentially, unless a kid just decides to quit. Next, you're going to have stone walls, and you're going to have ice walls. Now, the stone walls, once you set them there, they are an obstacle. You can't get around it. You have to go, or you can't get through it, you have to go around it. But the ice wall can be melted by a laser if you shoot a laser at it. Yes, there is lasers in this game. Shoot it with a laser, and it turns into a puddle of water, and of course, a turtle can walk over a puddle of water. Trust me, the kids love it when they shoot it and it turns into water. The last one that I personally like is the crate. Now, the crate you can move with your head. As long as you're moving forward, you can move it. So let's pretend our turtle was right here and he goes forward. He can move the crate right there and move the crate right here, and so on and so forth. So those are the tiles you're going to get in the game. The next thing you're going to get are cards. And I want to mention there are tons of tiles that you're going to get in this game, and there are tons of cards that you're going to get in this game, but I'm just showing you what everything is. So, you're going to get these 5 kind of cards, and everyone should have these cards in front of you. I also believe there's a bug card that I forgot to put out, but essentially it will be over here, and we'll go into that in a second. So, there's going to be 3 movement cards, and when you first start the game, you're only going to use these 3 cards here. You've got the blue card, which symbolizes the blue flower right there, which will let you move forward. No matter what way you are pointed, that will move you forward. So that would be that, and if you return like this, you go like that, and so on and so forth. The next one is going to be the pink or purple flower, and what that will do is that will turn your turtle towards the purple flower, which will be to your right. So essentially, if you're right here, that will move you right there. So it's not really the best move. The last flower is the yellow flower, the yellow card. That, as you could probably have guessed, will turn you towards the yellow flower right there. So then the next turn you could take your next action and you could move this guy, and so on and so forth. The other 2 cards over here is, as I mentioned earlier, the laser. Now what the laser does is, and one thing you got to make sure you do is make the cool pew sound, is it's going to shoot out a laser. And you go pew, 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 and that's how I like to make the sound. And if there is an ice thing right there, then you're going to flip it over and say it's melting. And if there's a turtle right there, what I like to do is I like to say, ow, you shot me with a laser, or something like that. The kids eat it up. The last one is really for the advanced mode, and this is one that you're probably not going to use until your kids really have a good grasp on the game, because it is a little bit more on the complex side, and it actually brings in an element of programming to the game, which is really cool, and this is called the function frog. Now, I'm not going to show you how the function frog is. If you really get into this game, then you'll learn how to use it, but needless to say, this is more along the lines of some really smart 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and 7-year-olds are going to be playing with that. So pretty much, if you got younger children, you won't be using that. But anywho, you're going to go ahead, you're going to take your turns, you're going to be moving around the board, eating stuff, well, not eating stuff, but moving around the board, laying down cards. The last thing I forgot to mention is, if a kid makes a mistake, what they can do is they can slap what should be a card right over here, which I can't find right now, a card that is called the bug card. You slap it and you say, bug! And that means that you get to redo your maneuver. So let's pretend you turn this way, you get to redo that, so you move it back, and then you could take the yellow card and move that. But anywho, you're going to try and get to your gem, and once everyone's got to their gem, you can all have a big old hug and say, hooray, Billy, you got your turtle to your gem, because turtles need gems. But that, in a nutshell, is how Robot Turtle is played. Robot Turtles from Think Fun. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game's not going to be for everybody for a lot of different reasons. It's ages 3 and up, and this is definitely a children's game. Now, they have adult rules, variants, different variants, and say blah, 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 blah. This is a kid's game, this is a children's game. Not even a kid's game, I'd say a children's game. And once they get to about 7 or 8, they're probably not going to have too much interest in this game. And that's just understandable, because it is a very simplistic game. That being said, I wasn't the biggest fan of the fact that everybody wins, blah, blah, blah. Everybody goes until you get a gem, and, you know, I understand that some people like to play that way. I don't, and I'm a preschool teacher. I like to have 1 winner or 2 winners, but not everybody wins, because that's not realistic. That's not real life. But anyway, getting off on a tangent, those are the real cons I have. Not going to be for big strategy gamers or gaming groups or anything like that. This is purely for kids. Moving on to the pros, though, Robot Turtles. I saw it on Kickstarter, which it absolutely tore up Kickstarter, and they instantly appealed to my heart. I'm a preschool teacher. They said, this is for ages 3 and up, and I was like, I'm getting a copy of this game. I got it, and I brought it into my classroom, and let me tell you, this game went over like gangbusters. They loved it. They went crazy for this game. It got to the point where I said, all right, I'm not bringing it in for a week because I'm sick of playing it with you guys, because they wanted to play it so much. They're all aged from 3 to 5, and you could definitely see, one thing I loved about this game was you can make it more or less complex based on how advanced the children are. But a lot of the times, I would have 3-year-olds playing and I would have 5-year-olds playing, and I could set up the 5-year-old side of the board to be more tricky, and I could set up the 3-year-old side of the board to be pretty clear, and it really adds a nice deal of customization there, so you can really play this with children anywhere from, I'd say, ages 3 to 6, 7, and you're kind of pushing it. They're going to have a lot of fun with this game. What about you, though? Are you going to have fun? You're going to have fun watching your kids have fun. And that is really something that is true. I really enjoyed watching them play, and I loved when they finally started to figure things out, that they needed to turn this way or turn that way, and they loved the bug card. Bug! And then they got to redo their move. And tell you what, it was frustrating, though. I had a couple kids who just wanted to shoot the lasers. But you know what? It's all in good fun. I am rambling. Robot Turtles, if you work with children aged 3 to 5, if you plan on ever having any children who will be aged 3 to 5, or if you have children yourself who are aged 3 to 5, you need to check it out and probably get it, because your kids are absolutely going to adore it. Robot Turtles from Think Fun, big thumbs up. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was the review for Robot Turtles. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.